AITA for refusing to split my inheritance with my siblings? I am not op. Original post by you, throwaway 929,300 in R, Amethyst hole. An NBSP. AITA for refusing to split my inheritance with my siblings? The 17th of June 2020. I'll try to summarize as much as possible. I, F19, have an estranged grandpa more or less. He's my dad's father. But my dad hardly had a relationship with him. I have two other siblings. One younger, 13, and one older, 26. My grandma divorced my grandpa when my dad was only 10. So he lived with my grandma his whole life in a different state and didn't see him. When he got older he saw him a little more and my grandpa started coming around a little bit more as well. He'd stay for a week at a time and then go home. He was an old, bitter man, to be honest. He never got remarried and lived his whole life in his coastal town with the same friends he'd had his whole life. He wasn't pleasant to be around and could hold grudges longer than anyone I've ever met. But regardless of this, he was filthy rich. He owned a successful business that he sold for $1 million. He retired after selling. But his house sits on an island as well as the biggest piece of land on the island. So it sold for well over $3 million. I was never close with my grandpa, but I took after his sister who is an RN and he adores her. He always told me that he was proud to see me follow in her footsteps. He died a few months ago. Since then, my family has been torn apart. He left everything to me. He essentially liquidated all of his assets and it ended up being close to $8 million. I was shocked. I didn't and still don't know what to do with the money. But I'm going to save it. My dad and stepmom as well as my siblings are hounding me to split the money with them. I just can't do it. My dad is an alcoholic who never said anything nice about his dad. Despite him being bitter, my grandpa actually bought my dad a $300,000 house. My dad would 100% drink away any money given to him. As far as my siblings, my brother has full financial support from my grandma as he is the favorite and he's very wasteful and ungrateful. He never talks to me and always is very mean to me when he does. My little sister is the only person I've actually considered. She's very young and that's really the only thing stopping me. Her mom is money-oriented and would take the money from her. So I'm waiting until she turns 18 and I offered to pay for her college. But now my family is telling me I'm unfair and the money doesn't belong to me and I'm not deserving of it. That I'm too young and I'll waste it on cars and clothes. I don't agree and now they're all threatening to cut me off and never speak to me. Or even sue me if I don't give them all a chunk of the money. I don't know what to do and I'm buckling under pressure here. I've already had 2 police officers out to my house because my dad is claiming I stole the money from him. Everything was through an attorney. I know I did nothing wrong legally. But morally? IDK. So AITA? Verdict. NTA. An NBSP. Update. AITA for refusing to split my inheritance with my siblings? The 7th of August 2020. Update. AITA for refusing to split my inheritance with my siblings? First off, thank you to everyone for the advice, links, etc. It was greatly appreciated. It's been almost a month since my post, so I figured I'd try to update and clarify a few things. 1. My family and I have tried reaching out to my father to get him help. He's declined. Giving him money or even bribing him with money to get help wouldn't work like some of you suggested. It's already been tested literally not even 3 months ago. 2. My brother is fully supported by my grandparents despite being almost 30. And they have never done anything close to that for me. Therefore I didn't feel it was necessary to give my brother anything as he had a very bad relationship with my grandpa. and only came around when he died. 3. My mother wasn't included in the story because I didn't think it was necessary. She has worked 3 jobs her whole life to support my brother and I because my dad was negligent and threatened her, so she never got child support. She's always supported us and provided for us even though my dad has always made double the amount she has. 4. I didn't ask for his money. I didn't have any previous knowledge I was even in the will. I was upset when he passed because we had always been a bit closer than him and the rest of my siblings, family. 5. My grandfather bought my dad a very nice house. He didn't have to, but he did. My dad never said thank you. He doesn't keep it clean and doesn't take care of it. Simply, he doesn't deserve the money after everything that's even done for him. With all of that being said, here's what I've chosen to do. I set up an account for my little sister with enough money for a 46-year degree, a car, and a down payment on a house. I donated a sum of it to charities, bought myself a new car, and put the rest of it away into CDs that I can't touch for another 4 years unless I pay fees to withdraw the money. I plan to renew these accounts every few years or until I absolutely need it. Again, thank you to everyone. I was scared, lost, and overwhelmed. I couldn't have done this without all the support and advice I was given. An NBSP. Reminder: I am not the original poster. It's always funny when terrible people use, or we won't speak to you anymore, as if it's somehow a threat. Oh dear. However will I go on without you all constantly hounding me? Boo hoo hoo. The more I read, the more it became abundantly clear why the grandfather left all the money to her. Out of everyone, she should make a will right now and move. I'm afraid the next update is going to be she was attacked by a family member. Some people here saying CDs are a bad investment for her. It sounds like she didn't have anyone available to give her wise advice. And she's 19. CDs are better than a box under the mattress. She may lose some to inflation, but she would probably lose a lot more if she let someone else in her family have access to it. Right now, in a few years, she might have a better idea who to trust and be a little wiser herself. It sounds like she was caught off guard too. Isn't there a post around Reddit about what to do if you win the lottery? We'll cut you off. Don't threaten me with a good time. Quote. This is the "Knives Out" plot. Oop is fine. They'll want to revise the plan down the line, but this is fine for now. There's no faster way to see true colors than when it comes to money. Everyone came to Oop with their palms out. Maybe wake up and realize that relationships are important and blood means absolutely nothing. I feel so sorry for OP's mom. I hope OP finds a way to use some of the money to make her mom's life easier in a way that OP's dad won't be able to ruin or steal for himself. I can't believe people were suggesting to bribe the dad into sobriety with money. Tears of joy as a sober alcoholic. This is absolutely one of the worst things you could do. Now they're all threatening to cut me off and never speak to me. Lol. Okay. It's not like Oop can't support themselves. IANAL. But would she even have to deal with the lawsuit? Or would that be against the estate? As for the little sister, I'd put that in a trust with restrictions that would prevent, or at least minimize, the chances of the funds being appropriated by someone else. She put the money in CDs? That's a terrible idea. She needs to get a financial advisor. Does anyone know if she offered anything to her mother? The one who had 3 jobs to support her kids and no support from ex. I love when people threaten to sue without thinking about what the cause of action would be. Because you can't sue just because you are angry. You need to have a legal injury that can be remedied. As a lawyer, I eye roll at most threats of litigation. I seriously hope she writes a will to not give money to the bloodsuckers or leave them all $1 each, so they can't contest her will and get protection of sorts. I can totally see some of the idiots try to kill her for that money. There has been murders for less than 1/10 of that throughout history, modern or medieval. USBASED financial advisor here. Ask your lawyer to put you in front of 3 trustworthy financial advisors in your country that are not connected in any way to the rest of your family. Choose the one you feel most comfortable with and tell them the whole story. Whoever suggested to bribe the dad to get help is an absolute moron. Nothing will help addicts unless they want the help. Op just inherited $8 million. Do we really think her greedy family is going to cut her off? Knock knock knock. Ma'am, we've gotten a few calls that you've stolen $8 million from your father? I would have given some to her mom in lieu of all the child support she should have received from her dad. In this case, the dad's family money, to clothe and feed her and her brother.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.